Dispatch is a game that unexpectedly reminded me why I fell in love with Telltale in the first place. And no, it's not just about the story. In this video, I will talk about why Dispatch hooked me much more than I expected, why it can appeal both to casual players and to those who grew up with games like The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us, and also where it might disappoint you. I want to start by saying that this is a great game and I'm genuinely happy about it. It feels like a return of a Telltale, but not in the name, in spirit, and I really like that. I hope that after such a successful debut, we'll see more projects from the studio. The Walking Dead was one of the very first games I've ever played on my personal computer, and the Telltale studio also introduced me to the interactive movie genre. What's interesting is that the best thing about this game is not the story, and don't get me wrong, the story here is very good. It just so happens that the strongest part of Dispatch is its characters.
I could have been. I could be anywhere.
And you chose to be here.
They all feel alive. They have their own flaws and personal problems. Someone is hiding something, someone is angry at the player, someone is angry at themselves. They all feel real. And while I was playing, I genuinely felt like we became friends. And now, I just want to spend more time with them. Yes, even with you, Flambe, even with you. The story tells us about a single protagonist, Robert Robertson, who is forced to work as a dispatcher for superheroes.
Tell me that's not your real fucking
Stuttering,
name.
bitch! You can't be this shook on your first day, come on!
Can we clear the channel, please? There's a lot of overlapping on this.
His team consists of former villains who have joined a rehabilitation program. We have to work with them, help them reintegrate into society, and at the same time assist ordinary people in need. In addition to his new dispatcher job, which takes up most of our workday or one episode, we also have to deal with Robert's personal life. As always, problems start piling up at the most unexpected and inconvenient moments. That's exactly why we love Telltale games. Gameplay-wise, Dispatch is mostly classic, well-known Telltale. An interactive movie where you make decisions for the protagonist and then watch the consequences unfold. One thing I don't recommend doing is regretting your choices and going back to the last save just to pick a different option. Because of that, both the game itself and every decision you make feel much more serious and meaningful. I also strongly advise against pausing the game during difficult decisions, even though I'm guilty of doing that myself. The game constantly puts you into uncomfortable conflict situations, plays with your emotions, and makes you doubt your choices. But the entire point of the game is to live with your decisions and accept their consequences, no matter what. The game also introduces a proper dispatcher mechanic, which strongly reminded me of This Is the Police. You send heroes on missions while taking into account their skills, unique abilities, synergy with other team members, fatigue levels, and the distance and difficulty of each call. The game doesn't show us much of its world, but what we do see is enough to believe in it. Stuff like TV shows featuring superheroes, special bars and pubs for heroes and villains alike, companies where both powered individuals and regular people work together. These are the details that are shown to us to describe the world. Not all characters even work as heroes. For example, one character in particular, Waterboy, is perfectly happy working as a janitor and uses his ability simply to fill buckets with water. I think this aspect of the game suffers the most. precisely because we're shown and told so little about the world outside of the office. However, after finishing the game, I can confidently say that this is exactly the kind of world I'd love to see explored more deeply in future projects from the studio. As always, replayability in Telltale games is excellent. Even if you don't replay the game, you'll still want to know what if, at least twice. To try different hero combinations, choose a different romance option, and see alternative consequences of your decisions. I can almost guarantee that you'll end up watching those outcomes on YouTube because every decision affects something in one way or another. That said, not every choice is equally important. Many of them only change a line of dialogue or the type of cake that gets thrown in your face. But some decisions have a very strong impact on the story. I'm going to be honest here. The ending disappointed me a little. It felt like a somewhat cliched final battle. That's not necessarily bad, I just expected something more. Maybe my expectations for Telltale were simply too high. You could say that my choices led me to this ending, and that's true, but in practice, the game has the same ending overall, only certain details change, such as relationships and the fate of some characters. Emotionally though, the game completely won me over. As I've already said, the characters play a key role here. I really liked them and grew attached to them. At one point, I even felt a bit sad that I've never had this kind of connection with the real-life office team, because this is essentially a superhero office. That alone says a lot about how well written the characters and the script are. The game is fantastic, and I absolutely recommend it. It's probably the best Telltale games since the first The Walking Dead, which was a pioneer of the genre, and which I experienced as a much less prepared and far less picky player. So overall, my rating for this game is 4.2. As I already said, I really recommend it. It's a great game. I'm impressed you're still here. Have a nice day. I wish you all the best. Goodbye.